Welcome back to another episode of GL Rustic Design. This week's episode is going to be what I call a column leg bed frame. We've built one of these for our house. We've also built one for many other customers. So first we're going to start with I use all 1x10 construction for this whole build, as you see here. So I just a bunch of 1x10s. All the dimensions are in the description below of how I cut everything, but so everything is just pocket hole together. Don't forget the pocket holes that go, you see the ones to the left of the screen that will go into the top at the end. So once you get all of those constructed, you can start working on the face of the headboard and or the footboard. They're built exactly the same. The only difference is the lengths of each one of them. And while I have a second, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Thank you all for the continual watching of my channel. So once you get the face of the headboard or footboard finished, you can attach the back half to the trim pieces for the front. Also, as you can see, the very ends have the pocket holes. This really helps secure the legs to whichever one you're working on. Also, this is a king size bed. The only difference is you can make this bed frame in any size. You just look up, measure your box springs and or mattress, and then you go from there. And make sure that you give yourself an inch and a half. So here, what you see me do is I go both ways. So I put either a 2.5 or 3 inch screw from the outside going into the headboard, or in this case, this is the footboard. And then also on the back side, those pocket holes that you've seen, I attach those pocket holes to the footboard. Or to the leg on the outside, so that it really helps it hold. They're all probably not necessary, but I rather, because if something like this were to break, then you have to take the whole thing back apart, and it's just not worth it. So I just make sure, a few extra screws, just make sure everything gets held in there tight. Once you do that, make sure you drill the pocket holes on the inside of that leg, as you'll see me here attached. So this would be the front of the leg. Really, you're making a hollow tube. And so technically you could go buy some post and do the same thing. I just feel like this came out a little bit better, a little bit smoother. So this is how I've done it. But like I said, you're making a hollow box, and then you're attaching the sides. Like I said, all the measurements are linked below. One of these legs, I think, is going to be like 4 inches wide on the front, and then the two sides are going to be like 2.5. So you're making a 4x4 post leg, but it's hollow. So, and then once you get the front attached, the two sides, you can attach the back. I just simply shoot some finish nails. You're not going to see the back on both. So, finish nails, in my case, was the right thing to do. And you could also attach a few screws, just to kind of further hold it in there. But once you get that done, I went ahead and attached the top two boards. So this will be the top of the footboard, top of the headboard. This is where those pocket holes come into play again. So attach that, and then also, once you get all those pocket holes attached, make sure that you bend the footboard to where it's straight on all the sides, so that you're not getting any kind of angles or getting any kind of off square measurements. But once you get that done, you can slide or attach a 2.5 inch screw, torx head screw to the outside to further hold the legs on. And then I go back and slide the larger piece, which I believe one of them is 6 inches wide, and this one is 8 inches. The top piece is 8 inches wide. Attach those, just I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 screws, 3 on the inside, 3 on the outside, 1 on each of the outside, and then you're good. You're good there. And then now you start on the most challenging part, which will be the column leg. So I cut all of these pieces first. Counter hole sunk all the holes. 2.5 inch screws. Once again, all the measurements are linked below, so no need to worry about that. And then once you get those screws attached, you can start. It has a second layer. Once you get the first layer attached to the leg, you can start the layer that goes on top of it, and then it's just layer by layer by layer by layer. So the next layer is the square part of it, which would be the again, you're just making a hollow square. I use all pocket holes with finish nails in the back. Nothing fancy here. Just make sure you, like I said, line all these up. Make sure that everything is nice and square. I think of the whole build, this is probably the most time-consuming part. Is actually putting all these little pieces on. I just really wanted to make sure that you saw how I done the legs, just in case you have to, you don't have any questions. If you have any questions, if you have any comments about the build, please comment below. I'm usually pretty quick to answer questions, so if I got a measurement wrong, please measure all your things before you cut it. Don't, I might have misread or wrote something down wrong. But yeah, just more finish nails, and then the rest of it is just the same as how I started it. So you have the top piece, which is the same size as that piece below it. I think it's like 6 3/4 or something like that. And then once you get that bottom on, once again everything is countersunk, and then you have 2.5 inch screws just to really make sure that these don't go anywhere. And then once you get all 4 of those in, then you can put the very bottom plate. And again, these can be really any size you want. If you want them bigger, you can go bigger. If you want them smaller, etc. But the bottom plate is an 8 inch by 8 inch square. Make sure everything's lined up straight. Finish putting all the screws in, and then you're basically done. Like I said, so all 4 legs are exactly the same. The headboard, I think it's something like 52.5 inches tall. Footboard's like 24. And then so from here, you'll be working on put little 4-inch blocks. This is what the side lats will sit on. I pretty much built all my beds the same way. I've not had any issues yet, so I figured, I didn't want to change it. But once you get those, I just use some 2x4s, little pieces of 2x4s there. 4-inch blocks, so the whole thing sits 10 inches off the ground. You can set that lower or higher, obviously. And then from there, I use 2x10 lats for the side pocket holes and 2.5 inch pocket holes in all the sides or all the ends. And then so drill those straight into the legs, and then you're done. You're virtually done at that point. I went ahead and stained it after that. This is Minwax dark walnut stain. This is what my customer wanted. I've seen these special walnut, etc. So once you get that done, you can start on the middle lats. So the general rule of thumb that if you have a box springs, you want to put the lats like 12 inches, or you can go 12 inches apart. I just used a bunch of 2x4s, screwed all the 2x4s together, measured your side. Obviously, you have your side. I use some rough cut oak. It's probably much easier just to go to Lowe's and buy the 2x4s, but I just had some oak laying around, so I used it. And then, so the middle, I put these at 10 inches apart because I didn't know whether the customer would have a box springs or not. So I just put them 10. And then once you get all those 2x4s screwed together, you go in and attach the 3-inch screws so that you can bolt it, pretty much screw it into the side of those 2x10s as I'm showing you here. And you're done, at that point. So if you have any questions, comment below. This is just a little quick video. Hope I covered everything. If not, let me know. Like I said, you can raise that up and down. If I only have a mattress, I go all the way up to the top and leave myself an inch. But thank you all.